Alright, welcome back to part 37 of the C8 Corvette tutorial, surface design in Solidworks. And I point out Solidworks because Solidworks is not the preferred surfacing when it comes to surfacing CAD software when it comes to automotive industries. If you're really serious about automotive design, what concerns the outside body, I mean the surfacing part of it, then you better learn Siemens NX10 or 11 or CATIA V5 or V6. So if you don't have any of those softwares and if you want to get started on it, let me know and I can help you out. All right, so let's have a look at the picture here, what we're planning to accomplish in this tutorial. So let's zoom a bit more. So the first thing that we're going to do is going to be that we're going to create this inside bracket, and then once we have this inside bracket all around, then we're gonna start building these inner brackets on which we will create these bodies here. So these red brake light bodies, the signature Corvette design, is extruding out from these inner brackets. So first we need to do the outer bracket and the inner bracket, and then we extrude out some inner bracket bodies out of those surfaces. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a curvature from this corner, from this point which we have in SolidWorks to this point, and then we're going to add another curvature from this point to this point, and then we will define this point here and add this inside curvature, which is actually dropped in a little bit, but it only looks like that because if you look at this side here, it doesn't actually. But from the back, if you look at it, it kind of looks like that. But we will introduce that, but that's only concerning the bracket that has that inner drop in. All right. So let's start by adding our first curvature here. And our first curvature is going to be a 3D spline coming from this point here up to this point. And we're just going to jump to the top here. And we're going to pull this line with the handle perpendicular to the surface body edge. Right? And we don't need to add any control points on this curvature because it's already looking good. And then let's just jump to the back and add the profile on the curvature so it follows the surface body, of course. All right, so that looks almost good. Okay, exit the sketch. And then the next 3D spline will come from this point to this point. Spline from this point to this corner. And the same thing, we're gonna have a look from the top, and we will add some curvature on the line as well. Okay, so that's about enough. And let's jump back here, and we add some curvature from this end as well, somewhat like this. That looks good. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to define our point for this X shape here. Okay, so for that, I'm going to jump into first this plane, and we're going to make a sketch on the right plane. Exit the sketch, and make a sketch on this right in display state 1. and I want to define this point here. So drop that point somewhere about here, middle of those two lines. I'm just going to pull that out into perspective and jump into second display state. And I'm going to exit of this sketch and jump into a 3D sketch and a 3D center line construction line onto this point here that we just made. And we want to be on Y and X, straight line of course. And we just jump to the top. Obviously we need to be somewhere down this area. So drop that point somewhere here. Okay, and exit this. And now we just have these splines connecting this point. Grab a new one for me. This point to this point here. And another one. This point to this point here. Then that defines that drop in on from the side, right? So that's going to be enough on this side. If not, we can always pull this a little bit more in. We'll pull the whole thing in. If it wasn't confident, delete that one. And we can pull that in or more in or more out. So that's probably good. A little bit further in than the point actually was. So that looks good to me. And yeah, that's good. That's good enough. All right, so next thing we want to do is exit this sketch and grab that 3D line again. And I'm going to go from this point into this corner here. All right, let's jump to the top here. And I want to pull this line as well, somewhat perpendicular to the other lines. And that should be enough like this. It's almost perpendicular with the other line. Okay, and just add that curvature back as well. Okay, exit the sketch. And once we exited the sketch, we're going to jump to surfaces, surface, and selection manager, and set the sketch here, and set the sketch here. Direction 2, of course, we're going to select the edge on this side, and this sketch on this side, and press A. Okay, so let's bring back the sketch. It's this sketch here that we're looking for. So let's choose another boundary surface from this edge to this line. For direction 2, of course, this edge here. And sketch here. Okay, that looks fantastic. All right, and then we're going to have to trim out the inside of this surface body here. So let's jump to the front plane, or right plane actually, to make a sketch right plane, normal to profile. And then we're going to cover these. Okay, once we conquer that one, we're going to add the inner spline here. All right, and just snip that one as well. Okay, so that looks all clean and everything. Zoomed in so much. So zoom back out. And just double checking the corners here. All right. Okay, so to profile, and then let's do an offset on sketches, not the surface. So Control Z, select the surface. So offset the entities, and we want to offset this sketch here. I want to offset it by 1, and then reverse. All right, so let's do that again. Offset. And the sketch converse. Let's select that down one. Control Z. And let's do again set. Let's come here to the plan menu and set that sketch. Reverse direction. Seems like it's open somewhere. I wouldn't see where. All right, so let's go to future tree here and delete the sketch. Hide these lines. Okay, good. And let's hide this point as well. Okay. And let's connect these two surfaces there. Okay, so nice in one surface. Let's jump back to right and go to profile. And let's convert again this surface. All right, so now it's obviously one surface. Let's go to offset. All right, so okay, so that's good now. All right, so we want 0.5 on that. Okay, so that's going to be our, should be our bracket if it did it. Let's hit the sketch. The sketch and reverse, and that's a 0.5. All right, it did it this time, and then zoom out side. Okay, that's good. And now let's change the surface from that inside surface out. Good, fantastic. So now we have the outside perimeter of that bracket. So what we have to do now is jump into get to convert these edges here. And make sure you just convert the edge of that surface there. That's okay. And just zoom in here and just have a look. And then, of course, because it's connected together, we will have that small gap here. So these small gaps there, and I'm sure there was one on the other side as well. And connect this here. Okay, press OK. All right. And now we just have to give the direction of pull. So we're going to use a center line, a 3D center line, construction line, and snap to this point. And we want to be on Y and X. And pull it to here. Okay, and then we're just gonna look at that pull of direction. It's gonna pull this. So let's this 3D line. Let's grab another one from this, of course. I want to give it a little bit of style on that direction of pull. Okay, and then let's just have a look from the side. And that straight will work for us. And then exit sketch. Alright, now I'm going to jump surfaces here to the surface. So I'm going to extrude face. I want to extrude this sketch that we made. So extrude surface, not surface, clear selection. And let's use from the drop down menu here. It's going to be the sketch. And the direction is going to be this line. And direction. Surface extrude, extrude surface, extrude surface. Okay, so now it's selected that we just created the converted sketch. So make sure that it selects all that we just made there, and it says here 3D sketch selected. And for direction, let's choose our center line here. Okay, and I want to pull this bracket about in that much. That's nice. All right, press OK. So we have our bracket created here with a nice thickness of that bracket. And we have our surfaces here that we can continue working on. All right, so now we have that bracket created. I'm going to save them. And then let's have a look at the picture, what we need to work on. All right, so not the red ones. The red ones are completely different. We need to create now the inner brackets, which is these ones here, and then goes along, and it's basically this one's touching, and it's not even basically it's coming. It looks like it's coming from halfway, starting from halfway on here and connecting up to here, and this one is in here. All right, so first we need to have to get this sketch here. We can add that line, connect onto this line to create this bracket and this bracket here. Okay, so right, All right, so we're going to add a 3D line from this corner. From that corner to this corner here. I'm just gonna fix it up from the top and keep that profile like that much, and then give the profile here as well, something like that will be good enough. And then once we have that fixed up, we can exit the sketch. And let's have a look at our picture again. Right. So our first is going to come from, we have to make a line somewhere in the middle, exactly on the middle, perpendicular to this line here, all the way up in that direction. Right. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to grab the sketch line, and I want to be in the middle of that sketch. And I want to be on this edge here. And this time I'm going to pull up our first display state. I want to make sure that we are in the middle of this headlight here. So that should be it. Somewhere here. That looks good. And the second display state. And we just want to make sure that we're perpendicular with this one, but we were on the blueprint perpendicular, so we should be fine. Okay, so there's one thing I want to do here is I want to come into surface, exit the sketch first. And I want to create this top surface that we just created with the inner extruded surface here. Now we don't have that gap there anymore. So it's one surface now. It's fantastic. And then now we can continue with that bracket here. Okay, first bracket comes straight to this point and connecting to that middle line. So it's going to be a few spline points here to create this sharpness. So let's get into, and we're gonna go from somewhere here all the way like that and up to this point here, which will come up to here. Okay, so let's grab that 3D sketch, 3D spline, and then just pull that, tilt that down a little bit, and then we're going to add a few spline points on that as well. So let's get on this line here and somewhere here. Let's to view, and I'm going to add a few spline points on that spline. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope it's not too much. And then click back on the line. Just deform it a little bit so we can add that control on there. We can add it anyways, even if it's not deformed. This way, our points are a lot easier to grab on. Right. So in this section, it's no point following the blueprint, unfortunately, because we started off with a bad blueprint, and because of that reason, you see it's right here, so it's not there, right? And so for that reason, we're just gonna go by our eyes, which is probably going to be a better idea. So that could be, that has to be probably a little bit down here. I want to add an upward motion here and pull this one to about here. Let's have a look at the picture here. All right. And at the sharpness there, I want to keep this here, pull this out to here to create the sharpness for us. And pull this to about here. And the next one will come into here, obviously. And let's just zoom in a little bit more. And a little profile on the bracket. Okay, going to press OK here. And just have a look from the top. And straighten it out. You have to. All right. So let's pull that into straight. Here as well. That looks good like that. And just double check again from the back. That stayed beautiful here. You have a little profile we left here. Pull that up a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Just double check again from the top. And that stayed straight. That stayed straight there. Let's just jump back to the here to add our second spline, which is going to go up to this edge here. So another spline from here to here. And as I said, creating the bracket now. So that's the middle inside bracket. Everything will fall out to this side. So let's leave a little bit more room for that headlight to extrude out. Maybe a little bit more, like that. Okay, that looks good. And now we just have to create something similar on this side as well. Okay, so this one, the second one is pulling there from the edge up to that point. So the second one is coming from here and then gonna come up here this way, right? So let's exit the sketch here, make sure so that way we have more individual splines here. Set the sketch, spline, and let's come from about and up to this line here. All right, and now we're just gonna add some few points on that one. 2, 3, 4. That's probably. Let's define that line a little bit. Okay, we have our control now, and let's just get this second sketch here, and we want to create the same upward motion as here. And of course, that one here, we need to leave some room as well for the inside body, the same amount as there. Okay, so let's have a look from the top as well, straighten it out. So that looks good from here as well. However, we want to be straight with this line here. So let's see what views we have. We have this view as well, so we can adjust here things as well to be a little bit more perpendicular to this one. Here we might have to adjust this one as well. Just want to be as straight as possible on this bracket. All right, and let's double check from every angle now. So it looks good from here still. However, we might have some upward motion. Pull that a little bit up. Okay. You can always come back and adjust it after. This is sticking out a little bit too much. So let's adjust it from the bottom here. Actually, way too much. So let's straight. I'm going to set it straight here. So it's sticking out with this bracket. And just double check everything from the back again. And of course, let's double check again that we didn't pull it out again. Let's have a look from the top. Okay, and from the back. All right, that looks good. And then press OK and add the second spline from this point. And I want to be perpendicular with this one to this edge here. Now, if you would be kind enough to snip on it, let's exit this sketch and get the 3 sketch to this spline. Exit the sketch. And let's see now. All right, so let's see what we have here, and let's grab the other 3 spline. Okay. So yeah, I got froze froze for a minute, and I restarted the software. Right, so sketch spline, and I want to go from a point up to this edge here. Okay, and I just want to get in view and make sure that we are perpendicular with that line there, somewhat. There you go. It's almost the same, maybe a little bit just this way. All right, that's good. All right, so that's that. Spooling up this way and have a look at the picture again. And then this line here comes into here, right? So exit the sketch. And let's grab another 3D spline from this point, of course, into here. Okay, that's good. So these will create this brackets, right? So it comes from here. All right, I'm going to take the sketch and just have a look at the picture. Okay, right, so we got one bracket that goes from here to here, and then another bracket that comes down like that, connects here, and then this one is probably going to be a separate bracket. So let's create this one first, which is going to be this one here. All right, so sketch and the line, and let's go from this, and then we want to be on the Y and Z. So for that, tab bar, press tab, of course. Let's pull it up to that point. I want to make sure that we actually straight with that spline in terms of direction of pull. Pull that this way, right? Surface. Surface is extend surface, and then let's select this sketch, and the direction is this here, and let's pull that into that far and press. All right, and let's bring sketch just so we can see. It's this here. All right, so we got one. Let's create this one here. First, let's try and create that one there. So surfaces, extrude. Let's set a sketch here, and direction of going to be this one. Okay, and then extrude surface. Let's select here and select this one for direction of. And of course, we want to bring back that sketch. Show, and we want to bring back sketches. So on that one. Okay, so we got these surfaces, which looks good. Let's extrude these ones here as well. So extrude surface, this here, and direction of pull is there. And back sketch. Extrude surface, sketch, and of course direction of pull. Let's back that sketch. And have a look at the surfaces we have so far. So we have all these surfaces. We have this surface. We do have this surface, which is good. That's good. Okay, and then let's have a look at the picture here. So we have this surface, this all the way up, and this surface here. And right, so let's thicken these surfaces a little bit. Hide these sketches. Oh, not the surface. Bring that back with Control Z on the keyboard. And maybe there's one more surface we haven't done. So surface up here and direction of pull is this one here. Okay, and I want to connect surfaces together. Ones here. And it is to so it's not happy about something there of connecting these two surfaces together. Let's turn off gas control. That's fine. We can live with that. Where did the surface do have this? Let's turn on the lines so we can see things without having sketches here. Okay, and then we still have that center line here. But of course, we're not going to use it to, we're not going to use that line to create the reverse light and the brake light. For that, we're going to use a different sketch. Probably going to make a sketch from this end and bring it out to the edge here. Maybe from somewhere in the middle, right? So let's hide this for now. Hide that. And let's hide this direction. Center line. All right, so we still have time to create the surfaces for these lights here. So we're just gonna go from the midsection to the midsection. So 3D sketch, 3D spline, and from the midsection up to this far right. So to the section, to the midsection on this side, and another one, the midsection, middle section, obviously, to the middle section over here on this side. And we can use these edges here, or we can add lines from here to here. Well, let's try and add a boundary surface. Boundary surface from this line. Press OK. Out this edge. I'm just gonna pull that. There. And just double check everything. Let's put it on in as well. And press OK. Okay, so that's one of the reverse light surface. Let's create the second one. Other surface from this edge to this other edge, and that down to here. And it's already set on this side as well. Let's just pull it closer to the face here. Maybe pull it here and see what we have. Maybe we can pull down a little bit and sketch and pull that down to this corner here. All right. So that will create a reverse and braking lights, brake lights. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. However, we want to bring that those sketches that we just created. So and let's jump in here, and we want to get to this edge here. So boundary surface, this line, see this edge here. Let's flip these curves and pull the point to about there, and so reset on that side. So that's good. And let's connect this edge here on the surface. Select line and select this here. Of course, connectors, and then we're just gonna pull this line down somewhere close to the face as possible. And that will work. All right, fantastic. So that's created our reverse light and the brake line. So let's hide these lines. Okay, that's fantastic. So we're not going to mirror anything over yet. And then let's just jump into our appearances and take this orange appearance. And have a look at the surface here. And then we will have this the red lights that's sticking out, which is going to be these red lights here. All right. So we're going to leave this part 37 here, and then in the next tutorial we will be creating these inner extruded red surfaces into these spaces, and then hopefully we're going to be able to finish the rear lights on this C8 Corvette and move on to the other things. All right, thanks very much for staying with me. See you in the next tutorial.